Welcome back, everyone. Our good friend Jason Boyett is back in the studio with us today as he highlights another amazing article from the latest issue of the Brick Elm Magazine, and the Route 66 Festival is going on. And
yes.
So tell me how this latest piece of the Brick Elm Magazine relates to the Route 66 Festival.
So this was one of those things we thought, okay, what's happening in these 2 months? Let's do something that's directly related to the Route 66 Festival, which is such a big deal. It's such a great festival.
Yeah.
I encourage everybody to go to the finale on Saturday. So we have a contributor, Nick Gerlich, who writes a travel feature for us in every magazine. And sometimes he'll talk about Albuquerque, sometimes he'll talk about driving to Colorado, but he's also an expert on Route 66.
Okay.
He takes photographs up and down Route 66 across the country, has a pretty big following, is a bit of a hobbyist that way. So we just said, Nick, for this one, because of the festival, write about all the cool Route 66 stops within the Texas Panhandle. You're the expert, tell us what to go see.
Okay.
And so that's what he did. And it's not only what's here in Amarillo. I mean, people know about 6th Street, historic 6th District, all that kind of stuff, Amarillo Boulevard. But he talked about where to go in McLean, Texas, what to see in Shamrock, what to see in Jericho, you know, the ghost town, where to go in Adrian or Vega. And so we've got the best Route 66 stops within, you know, an hour, hour and a half drive of Amarillo.
And what are his favorite spots along the way?
Well, it's an interesting list. Some of them are architectural, like the Tower Station in Shamrock, which was the inspiration for a building in the movie Cars, if you remember that. Some of them are museums, like the Milburn Price Cultural Museum in Vega, the Devil's Rope Museum in McLean, which is about barbed wire. Some of them are restaurants. I mean, some of the best pie you will ever eat is at Midpoint Cafe in Adrian. It is famous all over the world because it's a stop for pie on Route 66.
And so you mentioned Cars. I think that was my introduction to Route 66 as a kid who loved Disney Channel. And so you saw kind of all of the places along the way in that movie. And so what's the importance of still, you know, going to these historic landmarks and the impact that it has on the local communities?
Well, Cars is a good illustration of that because it talks about some of the communities that were left behind when the highway veered outside of town. And you see that in some places. You know, people are just going to zoom past Shamrock or zoom past Adrian because I-40 will take them right past it. But if you stop, if you take that exit, like there's really good pie or there's a really great museum to visit. And so it's about community. All you have to do is like take the off-ramp, which is the name of Nick's column, get off the interstate and see what's there.
And so for you reading this, obviously, you know, being familiar with the area, were there any kind of new hidden gems that you learned about?
I'm a museum guy, and I have to confess, like, I've been to the Amarillo museums. I haven't been to all the museums in the Panhandle. I know what's at Milburn Price. I know what's at the Devil's Rope Museum, but I haven't spent enough time in those places. And so when I am traveling for pie or something like that, which is worth a road trip, I do need to stop there and see what they've got.
Where can people go to get the latest edition of the Brick Elm Magazine?
Okay, you can always read everything for free online at brickandelm.com, but you can find print edition of the magazine at United Supermarkets, at Burrowing Owl, at Barnes & Noble. Some people just like to hold it in their hands to read the print version. I'm one of those people, so we recommend read it however you like to read it. And
you mentioned pie. So I'm assuming that might be your favorite thing to go visit on this whole Nick 6, you know, favorites list.
You know, the Midpoint Cafe has excellent pie. If you don't want to drive quite that far, all the way to Adrian, go to Mama Joe's Pies in Vega. It's closer. They're fantastic.
Okay. Well, Jason, we appreciate you being here with us as always.
I'm always happy to be here.
We have more Studio 4 coming up after this. Keep it here.